Hello, I'm in the Woodvale Cemetery and Crematorium in Brighton, and today I'm going to find some interesting graves. I've come in through the Bear Road entrance and you come straight into the Gardens of Rest, which is actually part of the extramural cemetery. Got a lot of newer plaques up here. A lot of bluebells this time of year. And still mixed in with the Gardens of Rest to some of the old headstones. This one. I've just seen they have a sensory garden over here. Got some mint. And you've got some very modern memorials. And some very thick bamboo. Little bird feeding table. Just along here on the left, down in that valley, is the Woodvale Cemetery and Crematorium. If I keep going along here, there's a columbarium. It's usually locked. I've been inside it on an open day here. I was with a guided tour. Apparently it was built initially as a family tomb for someone, and then they decided they weren't going to use it, so it became the columbarium. There it is, surrounded by temporary fencing. Looks like it's having some work done on it. So inside here there's a lot of ashes in containers, Some memorial tablets on the outside. I've just come across this one. It's Christian Alice Ordas. Died 27 years old. But it says it was erected by the management and staff of the Eden Theatre and Friends. I thought that was quite interesting. I'm not sure where the Eden Theatre is though. It's probably closed now, because that headstone was from the late 1800s. So I really doubt it's still open. Got a lot of Commonwealth graves around here, dotted around. This one here is very nice. Charles Albert Feldwick, died 1960. And on the side is a very nice poem. Music when soft voices die, vibrates in the memory, odours when sweet, violets sicken, live within the sense, they quicken. Rose leaves when the rose is dead, are heaped for the beloved's bed. And so thy thoughts, when thou art gone, love itself shall slumber on. It's probably a lot clearer in the video, but it's a bit faded when you're trying to read it. Just here, two members of a famous family in Brighton. This one is Reverend Arthur Douglas Wagner of Vicar of St Paul's, Brighton. He had that church built for himself, where he preached from it. It's still there in West Street. And next to him is his aunt, Mary Ann Wagner. Now, Arthur was the son of Henry Wagner. If you know Brighton, there's a Wagner group of churches that are, what's it, St Bartholomew's on Ann Street, St Martin's on Lewis Road, obviously St Paul's in West Street, St Michael's in the All Saints, which is up Montpellier Road sort of way. But anyway, his father was responsible for most of those being built. And his father is buried just around the corner, so we shall go see his headstone in a bit. Now I'm just here for this 1939 to 1945 war memorial. Servicemen and women who were cremated here. There's some couple of women on the bottom. Veronica J. Lovely. It's a nice name. Hilda R. Lee. And this is obviously the crematorium. So this is the back to it. And here is the North Chapel. Now it's a Saturday, so there shouldn't be any funerals on. I've always liked this little bit here in the middle of the two chapels. There's a lot of tablets here from the 1930s. Colonel Peter Wilcox, MBE. This one here is quite interesting because there is a photo on the Find a Grave website of them, but there's Lieutenant Colonel Frank Milner Black, killed 1943 in World War II, and Tom Campbell Black, killed flying 1936. And just on the side here, these are from the 40s. That's 1959 there. But yeah, most from the 40s. And there's the South Chapel. Inside the chapels there's a lot of brass plates on the wall, memorials. There's been a few famous people cremated here over the years. I could find a few on Find a Grave, I'm sure there's more. The most important cremation here, for me anyway, was my nan. That was in the South Chapel. But famous people wise, there was Hilda Braid from EastEnders. Dora Bryan, who's in Last of the Summer Wine. And Brian Cobby, the talking clock. One of the more well-known ones is Aleister Crowley. A couple of things I read online about his cremation here. He died in Hastings, which is an hour and a half drive from here. But apparently Hastings Council refused to cremate him because of who he was. That might be a rumour. I don't know, I just read it online. Also on the day of his cremation here, the local church, St. Peter's, apparently had a mass to combat his evil magic. Again, I don't know if that's true. Cool stories though. Just on the side here, opposite the crematorium, is Arthur James Lyle Freemantle. He died in 1901, but obviously this is quite a new headstone to a forgotten hero remembered. It says on here it was erected by historians of the American Civil War, to which knowledge Sir Arthur contributed greatly. Just reading through his bio on Find a Grave. He entered the British Army in 1852. April 1863, after hearing stories of the Confederates States of America in the Civil War. He went to America, where he spent 3 months with the Confederate Army as an observer. And upon returning home, he wrote 3 months in the southern states. He's the governor of a few colonised territories and knighted twice. It's a very interesting guy. Just going into the, let's say, the older section of the Woodvale. There's a lot of older graves down here. This one's especially nice. Benjamin Bennett. Just on the corner there, on the bend, is the Ginnett family, who owned the circus. On top of their headstone is a little horse. The dear memory of John Frederick Ginnett. So he was born in Essex, died in Brighton, but the family were originally French. You've got some sons on the side. Jean-Pierre Claude Frederick Ginnett, Emile Frederick Ginnett, Albert George and Louis Jean. On the other side, just up the hill, you've got Lillian, the eldest daughter, and it goes right up until modern times. Because down the bottom you have Michael, and separately under here you have a grandson of Louis and Lillian, died 2021. Here we go. It's good it's still being used. Over there's the entrance to the extramural cemetery. And here is the headstone to Henry Wagner, father of Arthur. He was a well-known, quite controversial character. He apparently assaulted a child on Upper North Street didn't do him many favours. But he was responsible for having a lot of the churches in Brighton built. Just up from Henry Wagner, I found this old wooden headstone. 1869. Old wooden cross as well. Must have been made of some quite sturdy stuff to survive this long. As you can see, it's pretty badly overgrown here. There's probably a lot of great headstones in there, but it's just not possible to get to most of them. I always thought this one was quite interesting just because the writing's painted in red. Henry Pagden Tamplin, Lennox Place, Brighton. Died 1867. Family vault of G.G. Reed. I'm going to take these very steep steps because up here is a headstone to a slave boy that was rescued off a ship. The headstone was restored 2019 when someone stumbled across the grave up here and it became more in the public's attention. Tom MS High Flyer, rescued from slave dhow August 24th, 1866. Baptised by his own request at Brighton March 30th, 1870. Died at Brighton June 20th, 1870. Supposed to be about 12 years old. And that is just around the back of the crematorium building, to the side of it. Just along the back of the wall is this interesting headstone. 1914-1918. Those who died in service but buried elsewhere in this cemetery. F.W. Shaw, V. Hudson, J. Funnell. Not sure why they have a joint headstone. I mean, they might have a joint one, an individual one somewhere. Who knows? Have a look at that. That's a very deep hole. Probably a badger in there or something. I don't know. Looks a little bit big for a foxhole. It's a shame it's so overgrown here. I always thought this one looked quite modern. The first person on it, Edith McLaren, died 1920. The last one died 1964. And is for 38 years the keeper of public parks of Brighton. So, yeah, I suppose it is quite modern. 64. And here's the last grave that I wanted to see today. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but it's pretty massive. It's about 3 meters tall. Just over a meter wide. And it is to Henry Pope, born 1806, died 1881, for upwards of 57 years an undertaker in this town, and his wife Caroline. And it looks like he designed this before he died, 1862, he died 1881. There was a book about the extramural cemetery, and in the back of it is an advert for his services. He was based on New Road, which is where the Theatre Royal is in Brighton. So that is it from Woodvale Cemetery and Crematorium. Thank you very much. Bye.